Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today I want to have a look at graphic modification, and usually to do this I currently use EDFX, and you can see me switching between the profiles right here. This is the default graphics and this is with EDFX enabled. Now I've used graphic modification with Elite Dangerous for a very long time now. Previously I've used Reshade and I've also used SweetFX. All of these are variations on the same theme effectively. EDFX is a lot easier to use because basically it's a utility. And whilst it's still built upon the Reshade framework, through the EDFX utility you can create your own profiles and pretty much customize everything you want to about it. Here you can see on the left it enabled and on the right default. Personally, I feel that EDFX really does make the graphics pop. Since the release of the Guardians, the graphics within Elite Dangerous have been improved quite substantially. So now I don't modify them quite as far as I used to, but I still find that sometimes the graphics can be a little bit on the pale side, a little bit washed out, so I like to improve the contrast where and when I can. Now here is the EDFX utility, and you can see down the side on the left there's a list of graphic modifications, and what you can do is modify each one of these to suit your tastes. For example, ambient light I can turn right up to ultra here, and to be honest this isn't a very good example, but I chose it because it gives you a strong indication of just how the modifications actually work. So each setting has various strengths. You can switch it to right up high or right down low, or outright disable it if you're so inclined. A modification I've seen quite a few people use, but one I don't use myself, is heat haze. And what this does, as to be expected, is give a nice little heat haze over the hot areas or the bright areas within the game. Now the reason I don't use it is because it does work over nearly all the bright areas, so station lights and engines as well will get this shimmer. But you may well like it over these stars. Just here we go, we'll enable it on a high and you can get an indication of just how it works. Now that's perhaps a little bit too much. If I was to use it, I prefer it on low, but you get the idea. Personally, with EDFX, I think there's something there for everyone. And there are some built-in profiles there. You can see at the top I'm using EDFX 2.0 Deep Space Feeling. And if you drop that list down, there's a bunch of other profiles there that you can actually switch between. And these will give you substantially different types of graphics. There's also a few other things you can do with EDFX. You can see there's a tab there for HUD color. And yep, you guessed it, that enables you to modify the GUI. It allows you to do that without messing around with files. Although it only has about 6 or 7 profiles built into it, you may find that is more than enough for your needs. EDFX is relatively simple to set up, and although I'm not going to go through a guide in this video on just how to do that, if enough of you do ask, I may do a video on that in the future. But for now, I've listed everything you need in the video description. There you can find a link to EDFX. There's actually a newer version available than the one I'm currently using here. And there's also a link to Reshade. You'll need that in order to get EDFX working. It's all straightforward enough to set up, and EDFX will guide you through the process. Now if you're wondering what profile I use, I will leave you a screenshot of my current profile in the video description, and if you want to copy my setup you can do just that. And as I'm talking here, you can see me modifying the profile in the background, showing you the default graphics and some rather extreme setups right here like this one. Personally, I like to try and keep as close as I can to the default graphics, but just essentially make them pop a bit more, turn up the contrast a little bit and increase the saturation a bit. And this especially works nicely around the nebula, planets and ring systems. What I'm going to do now is show you some areas of the game. I'm going to go quiet, stop talking, and let you enjoy the graphic modifications, and there will be a few comparisons thrown into the mix here.